Do you know what is on the UC application for students? I'm not going to go over all the questions, but I will share some of them. I'll probably put a link in the description as well with more of these questions that are being asked of our young people. And then, of course, the question I'm asking myself is, as an educator, am I creating space in my class, during my classroom, not outside the class, but within my classroom for students to help articulate and think these things through? So here's some questions. Some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. On this channel, it's been big about knowing your story, telling your story, listening to the stories of others, and doing something good with your story. So are we creating spaces like that in our own classrooms? Here's another question. The lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from that experience? Are we creating that space for students to kind of reflect and think about not only their successes, but also maybe some challenges that they experienced? You know, on the Ed Family channel, we've talked about ethnographies and stories of resilience, looking at stories from the past and the present as we think about our future, and even seeing painful moments and challenges as an opportunity to grow resilience. Are we doing that in our classrooms? And once again, these questions are coming directly off the UC application. So as we're thinking about preparing our kids for the future, right, college and career, then do our classes create spaces for students to actually think about these kinds of things? Reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? This made me think a lot about actually like the photo voice activity, where students identify an issue that they care about and then do something good with it. Or the soapbox speech, where they identify a topic that they're passionate about and share about it in a compassionate way. And all the civic engagement work that we do, where students once again identify a passion and take it to compassionate action. Let's see. Here's some other questions that they have. So they have like a comment writing app prompts, which are longer pieces of writing, but then they also have shorter pieces of writing as well. What have you done to make your school or your community a better place? Are we creating spaces for students to, within the class day, within their classroom experience, have an opportunity to do these kinds of things? Or how about this? Describe an example of your leadership experience in which you positively influenced others, helped resolve disputes, or contributed to group efforts over time. This made me think about my own instruction, and do I create the kind of spaces where students are able to grow in their leadership? Maybe this is going to happen through collaborative groups. They all have different roles where they're exercising their leadership and their skills, and they're creating norms with one another, and they're conflict resolving with one another. Are they having opportunities to develop that within the class day, within the school day? Or here about this one. What about this one? Every person has a creative side, and it can be expressed in many ways. Problem solving, original and innovative thinking, and artistically, to name a few. Describe how you express your creative side. So in the district that I work in, we're working on the 5 C's: communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, compassion. So as we're working on these 5 C's, there's at the end of each module, opportunities for students to reflect on how they've been growing, let's say in creativity. Now, let's say we've been doing this in 7th grade. That's wonderful, right? That even at a young age, you're having a chance to kind of reflect, oh yeah, this is how I'm using creativity in the classroom setting, and this is preparing me for college in the future. But what if they continue to reflect 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and each year they're creating capstone projects where they're showcasing how they demonstrated these particular skills? Wouldn't that be so helpful for their college applications? And I'm not just talking about the college application, because those questions are great not just for getting into college, but also as they go through college, or if they decide to pursue a career. Those questions are also great to think about that as well. Once again, this is Dr. Jeff Kim. This is the Ed Family YouTube channel, where we're striving to help students find out what they're good at so that they can do good with it.